Meta have removed this one thing from their latest version of the OS. And it's a biggie, really, because they've only recently just put it in. And it has me asking questions. Why? Why have they gotten rid of it? Or is it just a matter of it wasn't quite ready and, they don't want to mess it up? Well, the one thing is this navigator layout, which, let's face it, looks like a poor man's Apple Vision Pro OS, Vision OS layout, which, maybe that's potentially why. But I think to start off with, what we've got to have a look at is why they would remove it. Because obviously the OS has a current set layout that everyone's currently used to, whether they like it or not. And they're obviously pushing very much the Horizon Worlds, Horizon Portal, Horizon everything layout to to push people to actually play Horizon Worlds, because I don't know if you've been in it. It doesn't look like the numbers are improving. Whether who knows whether that's the case or not, but it doesn't look like the numbers are massively improving. I'm sure someone somewhere will be able to argue the case that they are improving, and that Horizon Worlds is looking like it's going to be the new metaverse that everyone was dreaming of when they saw Ready Player One. But the reason, and I don't think there has actually been a stated reason why they've removed the navigator from the latest OSs, but we can only speculate. And I think, one, it's either not ready and they are unhappy with how it's working, but I question that because they've launched other things that haven't been ready and don't work properly and have kept them in. So, maybe that isn't the reason. There's another potential reason that they're worried that Apple might look at it and go, that looks familiar. And Apple, in the past, obviously, in years gone by, have sued companies like Samsung for copying their layouts. And I don't know if you'd be able to do that with this, because they've possibly changed enough on the navigator layout to suggest that they don't, they're not copying. But let's face it, they're, I always think back to that Mr. Bean bit where he's looking over at the other person's the other person's test to try and get the answer. It looks too similar to have. If they'd have come out with it first, maybe. But I do remember as well, Andrew Bosworth saying how the fact that Pico had done a similar thing with their OS looking very similar to Meta's. So, maybe that's the maybe that's the reason why. Maybe they've just decided that actually maybe it is too much of a copy of Apple. My thought process is that it's either that, or that they've done testing on the testing when trying to launch this, something was wrong with it, or again that it doesn't really fit in currently with the OS pushing Horizon Worlds. I think that's probably more likely. You just look at the OS at the moment, and I know it's called Horizon OS. I know everything is going towards Horizon. I suspect the next headset won't be called the Quest 4. I suspect it'll be called the Horizon, because, they want everyone to use Horizon Worlds. So maybe people should have thought more about Rec Room. That it's not that bad. Or Roblox, or any of those that are still probably better than Horizon Worlds. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know why they would have removed it, but there's obviously a reason. Let me know in the comments down below what you think the reason is, because you might have a better insight than I do. I just think it's interesting that they've gotten rid of it. I don't. Maybe they'll bring it back. I mean, they did have that layout on their Meta Connect, so maybe it is maybe it's coming back, or maybe it's gone away, and there's a big reason why it's gone away, because someone's asked them politely to think again. I still think I don't actually mind the current layout. It's not awful. It could be better. Um, but they're making, like, you look at the app. It's very difficult to find games. It's very easy to find Horizon games. Every time you go on the app, it looks like they're removing more and more to do with the actual store and games that you've bought, and replacing it with what the latest Horizon game is. So, and then there's this push from them again for developers to start making more games that originally were on Quest. And I asked the question: are we going to start seeing things like Beat Saber in Horizon Worlds? I know they're releasing the OST, the new one, which is interesting. Almost worth making another video on that, because that's been over a year since they were promising a new OST, and who knows? Who knows why who knows why that's now come about. You start to ask questions when it relates to how much they want Horizon Worlds to be successful, and how much they're going to force it upon people, and how many games are going to just be released in Horizon OS. They obviously want to go down this free model where you know, in-app purchases for many of the games. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like, maybe it's already happened, Population 1, or, you know, other games like that potentially being brought into Horizon Worlds. So you don't even have a menu anymore. Everything you automatically boot up into the Horizon Worlds platform, which would be interesting. Another thing, I did talk about this last week, how the fact that you know, that they've introduced new features into their virtual environment, and how, you know, who actually uses that. And I sort of take a little bit back on that, for the fact that I think people with a Quest 2 potentially still use the virtual environment. I don't suspect that the virtual environments will work very well on the Quest 2, because, again, the Quest 2 now struggles to play things like Beat Saber, which I found interesting. I didn't even realise it until I used the Quest 2 a couple of weeks ago, and how bad things are being optimized for it, which is a shame, because let's face it, the biggest percentage of Quest users surely is still Quest 2. And who knows why that's happened. Maybe it's worth, I might do another video on that, because it's probably worth a completely different set of, you know, it's a completely different topic. Anyway, if you like the video, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.